Hi all, welcome. By the way, Happy New Year to everyone. Welcome to the first TST of 2025. This meeting will be recorded and uploaded to the social media. We'll start off with BIST and status. Is there Yokin? Is there?
Yeah,
Or
here.
Okay.
If you allow me to share my screen, I can give you a brief update.
Yeah, sure. Yep, go ahead.
Okay. So I mean, we've been working in the updating of the OLTs. We are close to calling this done and move on to the pipelines themselves, but it's quite intertwined. So all of them, Radish OLT, Atron OLT, and Sexel OLT, have been upgraded following the instruction of the software provided by the vendors. We are trying to get the pipelines for each of them to a good enough status, so we are confident that the upgrades are good. So for the Rises OLT, even if there's the DTG pump pipelines, how we have a data plane, there are still some errors, but we'll continue working on them in the milestone. For the pipelines themselves, for the TT pipelines, we are still working on them because it's a slightly different setup with the DHCP relay, and we think it's related to some VLAN configuration that it's not as it should be. So we are still working on that before calling the Radix's OLT done. Atron OLT, we have a pipeline. Some errors still there, similar to the one in Radix's, so that will continue in Milestone 3.1. And for the Sexel OLT, for the GPON pipelines, similar state as the other, the one for Radix's. So I think those are good. For the XDS pump pipelines, those are failing for the Sexel ONU, and we have better results with only the alpha ONUs. So we are looking if it's some issue with the ONU or the OLT itself. And for the TT pipelines, same as the one for Radix's, we are figuring out the DHCP relay, the configuration related to the DHCP. So once those are, we expect that for next week, this should be solved, so we can finish the documentation and call this part of the milestone done. What we have done as well is we have extracted list of the firmware version of the different ONUs, but we are not sure who should be the one confirming if that's the latest version or not. We have a bunch of ONUs for different vendors, but we are not sure if it's the TST members or should we reach to the vendors or how we should approach this.
Can you share the list, Yokin, which you
Sure,
have?
let
Sure.
me. I think it's. I mean, we're just preparing this. So what I can do is share with the TST a list of the ONUs, which OLT they are connected to, and which firmware version they are running currently. So you can confirm if it's of who should provide us. Some of them we get from the VALT CLI, some of them from VOLTCTL, but here we have the list. So I will just complete the table with the OLT they are connected to. So you have all the information in the same place and share that.
Sure. Thank you.
And with that, we think that this milestone should be, we can consider that done once everything is documented. The software provided by the vendors, we will leave that in the lab. In the documentation will point to the place in the lab where this is stored to avoid any issues with intellectual property and so on, and then complete the fixing the pipelines in the milestone for the pipelines themselves.
Jochen,
hopefully, yes.
Yeah, did Zyxel provide a updated patch for its OLT?
Yeah. We asked them. At some point, first they provided the sources, and we were required to have a source code from Broadcom plus some patches and so on. But we asked them to provide just the binaries, and that's what we have plus the instructions.
Okay.
Even if it's not the No, what I said, even if it's not the final version at the end of milestones done, for next week we can give you a draft of the upgrade process and the document, so you can have a look at that. What's the input for the upgrade and where those are located.
Okay. What's the OLT agent version on these OLTs? Is it the latest master or?
Well, not sure. I'll have to check.
Okay.
What I can do is I can share also, and when we will put that in the document for the process, we can share that independently, or if there's no rush for next week, we should have the document with all the information there.
Okay, thank you.
That's it from my side. As I said, I'll send the list of the unused and the firmware, and for next week, you should have the document for reviewing.
Okay, thank you. So I've added the same here. Thanks, you can. And next is on the release planning. So there are 2 items here added.
Yeah, I added them actually, Ablash. This.
Yeah.
So for the release, the first step is to arrange the versions in the Go mode files. So the dependency hierarchy. So I updated all of the repositories with the latest version of the Volta Protos and Volta libgo and OMSI libgo. So bumped up all of the version files of the repositories. But the BBC and VOLTCTL, they failed at the last step, which is releasing the application, the BBC and VOLTCTL. So they give the same error actually. So there's something wrong with the release command used. I think Eric needs to check them because this is out of our boundaries. So I opened 2 different tasks, one for BBC and one for VoltCTL, and assigned them to Eric.
Yep, I've got them and we'll be able to look at them today.
Okay. And so the third problem is about the VGC, Abhilash. So the third bullet here, this patch is failing in some unit tests, I guess. So if you can check it, or if
Sure,
you're
we'll check this.
if you feel more comfortable, I can abandon this patch and you can upstream another one. It's basically upgrading the Protos Volta libgo versions in the Go mode file and run a Go mode tidy and Go mode vendor upstream the patch.
Okay, I will look into this.
Okay.
Probably UT related. I see UT failure. Okay, let me check this. Probably a timing issue. I'll check this.
Okay, if we're done with these 3 tasks, then I think the repositories will be ready for the tagging. And Eric, you can check the documents, go through the release documentation and release accordingly. But I think another problem is about the pipelines, Abhilash. We still have a lot of pipelines failing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come to that. I have that in the agenda. I'll come to that.
Okay.
Okay. Staying with VGC. One more is so here there was some problem while pushing the Docker images. We did some changes. Everything is fine. Everything looks fine, but still there is some problem with the permissions. I don't know what, but it complains about some denied permission. I don't know. Everything looks fine. Everything is the same how we use for the other repos. Eric, I would need your help here on this.
Sure. Is there a Jira ticket for this issue?
I'll create one. I'll create one Jira ticket and assign it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, probably something minor which is causing this problem. I'll add the details in the ticket. And for the VGC pipeline, we had earlier tested it with a different approach. Now we have done the changes with in the CI management repo as well to bring up the VGC pods. So this would need a review from Eric and Mahir and everyone. If everything is fine, we can go ahead and merge and or provide your comments, and then we can start.
Okay, I'll check today.
Okay, and next is on the pipelines. So I will share a few things on the pipeline. So there are a lot of pipelines which are in good state, I would say. A few are like failing, which this is the VGC one, which we are fixing. There is a leak, but I'm not sure we'll be able to fix it, root cause it, and fix it within time. And so is this one. But what I'm concentrating are on the below ones. So this one is green. So the multiple OLTs, we fixed a couple of issues. We have gone to 27 out of 34. We have found another issue in the code, and we are fixing that as well. I fixed it. The patch will come soon. Once that is merged, things should go green here. This one too, and so is this. All are related, and so this one. So there are 3 test suits which are waiting on a single merge, which have probably the same test cases which are failing in these. So once we have that merged, then we'll be good with most of the important ones like this multi-uni, multiple OLTs, PM test, and the multiple OLTs again, and the ONU go test. All these, the important ones, will go green. There are a few here which I haven't looked into because they were TIM and TT workflow. TIM workflow I didn't check. This I didn't get a chance to check because there were quite a few. So
I don't think we need to check, the team anymore.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
But
So,
the one, if you go up a bit, so this one, yes, the periodic VOLTHA test BBC, it was green until I think 2 or 3 days ago, and it started to fail. You see, so that
okay. Let me
probably,
check this.
probably some of the latest patches caused this.
Yeah, let me check this as well. Probably any patch might be causing this. I'll check this as well. Anyway, the other ones will go green tomorrow time. So I would say we are almost good with the pipelines, at least the important ones. I'll share the patches by today or tomorrow. Feel free to review them once they're in. I'll also check this one.
Okay, Abhilash, I'll take 3 days off this week, so won't be available most of the time this next 3 days. But I'll check my mails, and if I find some time, I'll check the pages, etc. I'll be mostly online, but probably not too active.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay, this is on the pipelines. Any questions here? Are these anybody wants to look at any other different test suits which are important, which we need to get them green? I think so. The ones which I mentioned here are good enough from my perspective.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Mm.
So Abhilash, we need to, inform Eric that he can, go with the tagging after we did all, about the patches and about the pipelines. And also Eric needs to fix this VOLTHTA and BBSIM issue. So after all is done, we can tag it, but I think probably Eric will, wait from us to give a sign to him to start the tagging. So how
Yeah,
do we
sure.
plan this? So is it going to wait from you or
Yes.
from Slack or mailing? Let's, decide on a, way to sign him and where we can talk on that, etc. So we probably need to actively talk on that this week and the next week. So until we did with the tag.
We have the Jira ticket IT 27580 for the release. So that should be where any, comments on, okay, we're ready to tag everything now, that sort of thing should go.
Okay, well, it's the task on the Linux Foundation Jira, isn't it? So I
Yeah.
also opened the release task on broadband Jira side, and also link the tasks that are open to you to this release task. So you can also check, them there for updates.
Okay.
So I'll just put a comment here, Eric. Then once we are good in this ticket, it's not opening with fast. 2527580. Yeah. Okay. One question to Eric. How much time would it take for you to get the release happening, like tag and make the release to happen? Based on that, probably we'll have to come up with the final date when the release would happen.
At this point, I'm not sure. I know what the steps are, but I'm still not entirely clear on all the repos that those steps will need to be performed on. And, I don't know if we're going to run into problems as I go through the steps for the first time. It's very hard to estimate at this point.
Okay. So what I would say is, so we'll try to resolve all these pipeline issues, the test pipelines, and what all, sorry, what all problems we are. Sorry, I don't know why it doesn't work. Okay, so once we have resolved this, most probably we should give ourselves a deadline for this, like this week. Once we have resolved all these, we will have a good 1 week for you to play around and check on the release things. 1 week should be good enough, right?
Yeah, I certainly think so.
Okay. Anyone has like a date 17th should be fine. Somewhere on 16th or 17th release date. Jan. Maher, Sarkant. Jan 17th should be fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. But during this time until the 17th, no new, tasks or no new patches should be going other than the patches that, we're going to put because of the, these problems, to fix these problems. So no new features, no new bug resolutions, etc. should go in.
Yeah.
Other than the problem
Yes.
fixes.
And on 17th, I would say. Good. Yeah. So we'll have good a bit of time to fix the pipelines and a bit of time for Eric also to play around since he's doing it for the first time. I think so we are good. 17 Jan. Any questions here on the patch sets and the pipeline issues which have to go in by 12 and the 17 Jan release date? Okay. Totally. Okay, that's all I had on the agenda. Anything else? Anyone? Floor is open.
Yeah, there's another item about the transition to Jira, to new Jira. So after we transit to the new Jira, I checked the tasks on the new Jira, and Eric, I found, I think, two issues there. The first one is about the garage patch links. So previously in the previous Jira, when we had a get it patch that has an issue ID on it, then we were seeing the link of the get it patch on the issue. So currently we cannot see that.
Yeah. So that's something that was brought up before we did the transition, and that plugin doesn't exist for the cloud version. So um, that's pretty much just a feature that's not there anymore, which is annoying, but you pretty much just need to add the link into the description
Oh, okay, that's bad.
or into comments.
So the new Confluence doesn't support get it, then it's a huge problem. It's not acceptable, Eric. So probably so in our company we are using Bitbuckets. We are able to see the patch links, but for the get it, they don't support it. It's really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, a it's a big pain for a lot of projects because the cloud doesn't have any plugin for it.
So maybe a third-party plugin for that purpose. Do you know aware any solution, or maybe we can search for a solution?
As far as I know, there isn't one, even third party. But I can
In
take a look. I haven't looked again recently, and of course, something could be released since the last time I checked.
Yeah, please. What are the other projects in Linux Foundation do the same job? What are they using?
At this point, basically every project is using the Atlassian Cloud Jira.
Hmm.
Pretty much anybody who's not using Jira are primarily using GitHub issues, but those are, of course, generally GitHub-based projects rather than
I
Garrett.
I meant as a code Bitbucket for like they are using Gerrit or Bitbucket or direct using GitHub.
Pretty much all either Garrett or GitHub.
Okay,
I think we have like one project on GitLab, but the vast majority are Garrett or GitHub.
I see. Okay.
So they all have this problem, or perhaps some of them not
Yeah,
interested.
any Garrett-based project is dealing with this. But like it hasn't been a large issue. It's something that is convenient to have. It's an automation, but I don't think it really breaks anything. It just doesn't automatically generate links. So when you
Yeah,
open a
but
patch, you have to go and
yeah,
add it to the
it's
description or a comment. Um, it's a bit of extra work, but it doesn't, completely break anyone's workflows.
it is with a bit of an extra work, but also people forget to do this work, and so after a time you lose the track of the Jira tasks and the Gerrit patches associated. So it becomes a problem instead of a extra work.
Yeah, it's definitely an important information, historic information.
Okay, so I don't know, how we can solve that, but so we have to use this new Jira, don't we, Eric? So we cannot go back to the previous one.
That's correct. So we'll need to just find ways to adapt or work around it.
Okay, let's then check for if we can find the third party, some add-ons, etc. Okay. So there's also another problem here, Eric, about, on the patches. So when we put the issue ID on the patches itself, so Abhilash, can you open any of these Gerrit patches, any of them? So yeah, This one isn't. So if you open a page that has task ID on it, the description, this again do not have.
One second, I'll go for the merged ones. Should have.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, this one, for example, on the description, there's VOL-5408, the issue ID, and it's a link. So when you click on that,
it's not a link actually.
No, on the right hand,
Yeah, if you
under the
actually look in the
reply
description.
button, description, not the header.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
So
Yeah.
if you click it, it forwards you to open courts, Jira.
Okay.
No.
Which needs to be fixed because
Yeah.
you get
All right. Thank you.
404.
Yes, that needs to be updated.
Okay. And another issue about the new Jira, actually. So the subtasks, we were able to create subtasks for the tasks, but in the new Jira, I couldn't open a subtask to a task, so it's probably inactivated. It's deactive, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. I don't know what the deal is with that.
So on the
Actually,
Gary
could
patch,
you can you open a ticket on the LF Jira for the subtask thing?
Okay.
That one I'll definitely need to dig into to figure out why that's happening because I'm unlike the Garrett patch links, I haven't heard of that one before, so I need to figure out what's up with that.
Okay. I'll do that.
All right, thank you.
and for the patch links, we haven't decided anything as of now. Anyone would like to explore? Eric, you will check.
Yeah, I can look into any possible solutions, including this Get Kraken one. It's posted in chat.
Okay. Or maybe if we don't find anything, or we can write a job which will, whenever there is a patch raised, which will look into the description, and it's a bit, it'll go into the login and then put a comment or add the link in the ticket. That probably would be the last solution. Anything else? Sorry, I completely skipped this point.
Abhilash, there is a link on the chat screen. Mike put a link on the chat screen about the getting the integration to cloud. So yeah. Can you put this link on the meeting minutes? So it will not disappear.
Okay. I think so we are done. Anything from you, anyone, before we close? Okay. Thank you all. I'll keep Eric a bit busy. Sorry, Eric, on few tickets and approvals, and probably Maher and Jarkant as well. Okay. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.